What's up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of Fuck This Review, where today I'm going to be reviewing Meek Mill's new album, Expensive Pain. Wow, this is my first Meek Mill review that I'm doing. This is Meek Mill's fifth album. It seems like he should have more. First thoughts though about the album, I would say 18 songs is too much. It was some good stuff on here. For the most part, it was a good body of work. I don't think it's better than Championships. I really enjoy Championships, and I enjoy wins and losses as well. It's also a bit confusing. The album is a bit confusing because I'm not sure what he was going for on this album. Certain songs on here, obviously the title track and things of that nature, you get the parallels of success in a way. The things that come with success, especially as a young black man in America. Coming from poverty and coming from the hood, you get that. But then on some of the songs, it's like, why are you even doing this? And then on other records, it's like, I'm not sure if Meek Mill knows what type of music he wants to make. And I'll get into that in the review. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm just going to give my thoughts on some of the things I liked, some of the things I didn't like, and just give my overall takes on the album. So let's get into it. To start the album off with the Hate Me Now intro, and I'm, for one, always a big fan of Meek Mill's intros. I mean, who isn't? He probably has one of, if not the greatest intro of all time, which is probably why we hold this prestige with him with the intros, and we put so much pressure on him because he has one of the best openings that we ever heard in hip hop history. But I hear a lot of people. I hear this song catching a lot of flack, and the only thing I love the track. I love the opening track, to be honest. I love this flow on it. Only thing I was mad at, it seemed like it went on a little bit too long with the beat switches and things of that nature. I felt like if he would have just kept that first part, it would have been great, and it would have been a great intro. But I feel like he kind of pinned himself against the wall because he got to go out the way to make these elaborate kind of beat switching, dramatic kind of intros. And I think if he would have just had that sample of Nas Hate Me Now in that part, it would have just been dope. And even take off the hook. The hooks were some of the things I didn't like on here. Like a lot of his hooks were just lackluster, especially ones when he's sounding like someone else. Outside, you can keep that record. When the intro went into Outside, I didn't even know it switched. And sometimes, usually I'm a big fan of that, of cohesiveness, but it just sounded like one long ass song. It was like, no. And he's had the same flow. I read that he said he was trying so many different flows on this album, but they're the same ones. They're the same ones. But that's not a bad thing. I love to hear Meek Mill's in the fast rapid pocket and the laid back, just that Philly reminds me of old Rockefeller kind of thing. On My Soul, where he sounds like Little Dirk, no. That's where the line is drawn for me with this album. So I know we're so early, like the line is drawn already. What I mean by that is that I remember Meek Mill saying like he was in the studio with Little Baby and Little Dirk, and they were like handing it to him, like, it feels like he literally has their vocal settings from their engineer. Like he has Little Dirk's vocal settings, he has Little Baby's, he has Young Thug's, like to a T. Like his engineer is doing the same exact thing with the vocals. It's cool to borrow from the newer generation. In spurts, but when you like take the whole sound, and I can't tell if Meek Mill is Little Dirk, that's a problem, especially when you're like the father to them in a way. Like you were in the class that they looked up to, and I wonder for them, does it feel weird when they hear a record like that and it sounds just like you, even though Meek Mill is your man? I want to know how that feels as an artist. Sharing Locations, the next song, features Little Dirk and Lil Baby, and when I first heard that song, it is what it is. It's not a bad record, but it sounded like Baby and Dirk had a leftover track from their album, and Meek Mill's was like, shit, let me get on that. That's what it sounded like. Expensive Pain, on the other hand, is probably one of my favorite records on here, and this is the Meek Mill I love to hear, where he talks about that pain and the things that come, like I mentioned, that comes along with being wealthy and coming from the projects, and haters from different directions, and love is fake from every direction. That's what I get. Like it comes with it. Success comes with its ups and downs. Like you can't have the glory and not see the rainy days on that flip side. And I think Expensive Pain was the perfect example of that. I think the beat was perfect, and this is the sound that I wish was the whole album. If he would have, my thing is like 18 songs is a lot. If he would have just gave me 10, 11 of these, and I know that's a lot. You could have your girl record because Meek Mill's always gonna have the girl record on there, but the records that just it's the filler. That's why we have filler. It's the filler records for me that like drags the album down. But Expensive Pain is one of the ones that I think it's a classic Meek Mill's record. I think it's one of his best songs. To me, that's my opinion. Ride For You with Kehlani, you can keep that. I know what those records are. And like I said, I know Meek Mill's have to has those. Meek Mill have to have those girl records on his album. It's just a part of his image now. And I'm not mad at that because I like and I miss the R&B singer singing the hook on a rap song. Like I miss that. It reminds me of like old Murder Inc., old Rockefeller. Like it just reminds me of old early 2000s hip hop and the hip hop that I grew up on. So I appreciate those. The Young Guns, No Better Love, those kind of records. So I appreciate these kind of records, but it's okay. It's okay. Me featuring A$AP Ferg with the Little John sample. I thought it was okay. I don't know what the fuck people was talking about. I don't know what that song's about, but the B.I.B.I. sample is dope. To have Ferg on there was I think he was a perfect feature for that song. Just his energy he brings to the record, I think, was needed. You know what I mean? Hot. I like Moneybag. I like Love Train until the hook where he starts sounding like Lil Durk and Lil Baby and Young Thug all rolled in one again. Like it's just weird, man. I just don't get it from Meek Mill's a person who I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Meek Mill fan, but I do enjoy his music and I do enjoy what he brings to the table as far as hip hop because I think we don't get a lot of Meek Mills anymore. It's like a dying breed of a hip hop artist. I know we get the Griseldas, but I know somebody's gonna say the Griseldas and things of that nature, but Meek Mill's different. He has like that street knowledge kind of. He just could talk to you from a street level, and you need that in hip hop. Like, and he has a flow. Philly is it's a place of spitters and boxers. Like, so when he gets on his shit and raps, and he's painting you the story of his, because him painting pain is like when he gets in his bag and he's top tier at that, and it's no one in his field of this era, I think. But I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan of the. I appreciate him reaching out and trying to something new with the singing, but it sounds too much like the younger dudes that I don't think you should be sounding like. Northside Southside is a skip as well. I don't know. I just don't feel like it was needed. Like that record wasn't needed on this album. But We Slide with Young Thug, that's a tough one. We Slide is a tough one. Thug went off. Thug said some shit like, he said, sometimes I show people love so they won't kill me. You know how crazy that is? Like, that's a hard bar. That's probably my favorite line on here. And it's not even a Meek Mill's line, but that's probably my favorite line on this album. Like, sometimes I show love to niggas so they won't kill me. Yeah. Tweaking is dope. Vari, even when I heard him on Donda, I thought it was dope. But on here, he sounds, though his orthodox way of hooks is dope, and Meek Mills went off on those verses. Just dope. That second verse was amazing. Like, this is the stuff I want to hear Meek Mills on. And if the whole album was just this. And another thing, I feel like a lot of the subject matter is regurgitated throughout the records. Like, you only need, how many times you're going to talk about, you know, ain't no love in the streets, and like, you can't, how can I say it? Like, we get it. Like, once you say it, we get it. We don't need to keep reiterating for 3 songs on the album, 4 songs on the album. We get it. Like, you said it. Like, and you've had a song that was great. Expensive Pain was great. This song was great. I don't know. That's just me. Let me know how you feel in the comments. Love Money, he sounds like Little Baby. So any song, I'm trying to tell you, every song that for a second I hear that it sounds like somebody else, I'm clicking it off. Like, I'm not doing this. I'd rather go listen to the artist. Blue Notes 2 with Uzi, I thought it was a great record as well. I thought having Uzi on there was a nice little touch on the record. Like, it wasn't too much and it wasn't over the top, so I appreciate that. RIP to Lil Snoop, but I don't like that record. Cold Hearted 3. I like the record, but like I said, I feel like I've heard it already on the album. Same beat, same flow. I feel like I heard it already. The closing record, Halo, I probably won't be going back to hear it. The bonus track, Flamer Flow, I thought should have been on the album, even though it was a freestyle or whatever. It should have been on the album in replace of one of those other records because I like how he sounded on that record. But let me get into my best songs. I'm going to go with Expensive Pain, We Slide, and Tweaking. Worst song, On My Soul. No. Best line, it was probably the Young Thug line that I mentioned. Sometimes I show people love so they won't kill me. That's the best bar in the whole album to me. Sorry, Meek. I know it's your album, but that's the best line. As far as a rating, fucks given out of 5, I'll give it a 3. Let's wrap this up.
I bought the Richie for a quarter, but I sold it for a nickel.
In closing, when it comes to Meek Mill's Expensive Pain, it's a cool album. It's nothing new added to the Meek Mill's discography. I feel like you probably heard these records before. There are some gems on here: Expensive Pain, Tweaking, We Slide. There's some joints on here. It is. I would be a lie if I said it wasn't. But for the most part, I feel like if it was trimmed and he didn't sound like Lil Durk and Lil Baby and Young Thug on a lot of the records, especially Durk, maybe I would have enjoyed it more, and it would have more replay value for me. And still, it's the first week, so I'm still digesting. But the songs I mentioned was the ones I'll pull from here. But what I want from Meek Mills, and who gives a fuck what I think, what I would want from Meek Mills is that stick to the theme. If the expensive pain and the things was going to be the topic of the album, just stick to that. There's no need to have these other records on here, and try to find your vibe again. Try to find what made you great. Stop chasing what's hot. Stop chasing what you think you should do. Don't do any more intros like that. You should switch it up on the next album with the intros and just have like a real song, or like, I don't know. It just feel like it was lacking something that Championships had and Wins and Losses had. I feel like those albums was way better than this one. So that's just me though. As always, fuck this review. I'm Tatum. Peace.